All right. Well, good evening, baseball fans. Welcome in here tonight on AudioSportsOnline.com. Also, those of you tuned in on XRB Radio 1610 AM. Rob Kendall along with Troy Weimer as the Brownsburg Bulldogs play host to the Avon Orioles in the first of a two-day doubleheader. And Troy, doesn't get much more exciting than Avon and Brownsburg.
It does not. Hoosier Crossroads Conference baseball tonight. The Bulldogs and the Orioles from Mary Beth Rose Park here in Brownsburg. And the weather gods have blessed us with a beautiful evening, and I would expect that will turn into what will be a nice crowd that will be on hand for tonight's game.
Little League night.
It is Little League night, and my son is actually taking part, number 10, and wearing the black and gold of the Pirates out there. He'll be charging out to second base here for the pregame activities here in just a few.
All right, so we'll have our starting lineups here in just a moment. Before we do, let's thank our in-game sponsors here tonight, which are, of course, Nelson Jewelers, also Pete Fay, your State Farm agent, and Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health. So we'll be telling you all about them a little bit later on. And in fact, we will start by telling you about Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health. Provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you enjoy. Our orthopedic and sports medicine doctors are backed by award-winning physical therapists. This expert team uniquely addresses the needs of kids, seniors, athletes, and working professionals to restore their lifestyle. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Troy, you want to give us a little information on our starting lineups for tonight's game?
That I will do. We'll start off with the Orioles from Avon High School. Leading off and playing center field will be number 33, Cole Johnson. Number 17, the right fielder, Matt Batusak, will bat second. Dylan Jones, the catcher, number 32, will bat third. In the cleanup spot, number 16, Christian Reynolds, will play shortstop. Number 12, Chandler Sanburn, the pitcher, will hit fifth. Justin Dunham, the second baseman, will hit number 6. Number 44, Matt Moore, plays first base and bats seventh. Number 9, Tasker Strobel plays left field and bats eighth, and number 5, Jake Smith, the third baseman, will bat ninth. And for the home team, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, leading off and playing shortstop, number 4, Michael Hartnagel. Hartnagel had a outstanding performance in the doubleheader against Westfield on the game that we did the other night. The Dogs were able to come away with splitting that doubleheader, one game apiece. Number 20, Hunter Liam, will bat second and play left field. Number 6, Tyler Houston, will play center field and bat third. Cody Gill will play third base and will bat fourth. The pitcher, Dalton Carter, will not hit. He will have a DH in his spot. Batting fifth, number 8, to Jackson McGowan. I'm sorry. Number 3, Kyle Yeager, will hit sixth and play catcher. Number 24, Sam Comers at first base. He will bat seventh. Number 7, Caleb Sampin, will play second base and bat eighth. And Garrett Ish will play right field, number 22, and bat ninth.
Did a great job with those starting lineups.
Thank you very much.
Starting with the lineups for Avon. Leading off, the center fielder, number 33, Cole Johnson.
And we will give you a lot of love to our, real quick, to our PA address announcer, Adam Armstrong. Does an outstanding job.
Adam is introducing the starting lineups to the crowd as we speak, and that will hopefully...
You're a big fan of open windows.
I'm a big fan of open windows because I like ambient noise on the broadcast.
Well,
and
it's very professional.
That's one of the things that we like. If it gets too windy or you need a shawl, just let me know.
No, I'm
Get
good.
you
I'm
bundled up there.
absolutely fine. I'm going to go sit out in the stands here at some point because you are a highly trained professional.
I'm not Vin Scully. The color guy is always, the color
You do
commentator
great.
is
Here's
always
the thing.
always
my
good.
dad watches or listens to all the games, and he much prefers you doing the games as me. So
That's like-
you have a huge,
Like the son he never had, right? Is that
competitive advantage on his own kid.
Well, I appreciate that,
Now the
Mr.
Bulldogs
Kendall.
are in these retro uniforms, is what I
They
call
are.
them.
The Orioles will be wearing their black tops, white pants with a black stripe down the side, the pants a white stripe down the side of the shirts, and for advertising purposes, the Nike logo on the left sleeve with black letters outlined in gold. And the Dogs will be wearing the If the Astros Had Been Purple jerseys from the 1980s, which are actually some of my favorite jerseys. They'll go with the striped socks and the the purple and kind of a lighter purple and a black stripes in the Astros fashion. They'll be wearing the purple hats with the white faceplate, and now our national anthem.
Okay, there you go. We're playing our national anthem. Before Troy has to call the game, take a moment to thank another one of our sponsors, Nelson Jewelers. Spring is here. It's time to give that outdated jewelry a makeover. Diamonds are forever, but styles change and mountings wear away. Let the professionals at Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you create a fresh and unique custom design. Nelson Jewelers offers an in-house jewelry repair shop to ensure your jewelry receives the utmost care. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Thank you, Rob. The Bulldogs take the field take a little bit of infield. The Orioles are over in their dugout taking their warm-up swings, and we should be underway very, very shortly. On the mound for the Bulldogs will be the right-handed pitcher, number 15, Dalton Carter. Catching and behind the plate is Jaeger. At first base is number 24, Sam Comer. Over at second base is number 7, Caleb Sampson. Over at third base is Cody Gill, number 13. The shortstop is number 4, Michael Hartnegger. Over in left field is Hunter Liam, number 20. Center fielder is Tyler Houston, number 6. And rounding out the defense over in right field, number 22, Garrett Ish for the Bulldogs. We will see Cole Johnson, Matt Batusak, and Dylan Jones leading off 1, 2, and 3 for the Orioles. Again, a beautiful night, Little League night here at Mary Beth Rose Park in Brownsburg. Temperature is about 71 degrees and partly sunny. And this is a great contrast to what we dealt with the other night.
Those are uniforms?
Those are the uniforms.
I don't even have the team name on them.
You know, they made the transition. Rob's talking about my son Ben just came up into the booth, and he plays Little League here in Brownsburg, plays for the Pirates. And up until this year, Brownsburg Little League, we had always had the replica jerseys of the majors, and now we've gone just to replica hats. And
well, they used to, when I was a kid, used to have a sponsor. You were whatever the sponsor was.
That is correct. And they've kind of shifted gears a little bit. I actually don't know the reason. I'm going to guess it has to do probably with licensing or something like that. But these are a nicer shirt. They're like a dry fit shirt as opposed to the jerseys. So, and we are about underway, and looking in is Carter. And here is the first pitch to Johnson. Grounded over to Comer at first base. He'll just take a short step and step on the bag for 1 out.
Hey, quick,
so
one up,
pitch
one
and
down
1 out
for the Bulldogs to begin the ball game, so can't do any better than that. 1 pitch, 1 out. You can welcome those of you that are tuned in on xrbradio.com. We remind you that if you get near a computer, you can watch the ball game tonight in its entirety, video feed on audiosportsonline.com. Rob Kendall along with Troy Weimer bringing you tonight's game. Troy doing the play-by-play.
First pitch by Carter is in there for a strike to Batusak.
Now I got to admit, I am not as prepared as Worley. You know, he comes
Chris
with
brings the major element as Batusak tries to bunt, and he gets it right past the third baseman Gill. That will go down as an error, not a base hit.
That was a swinging bunt.
Swinging bunt. You got your second hitter, Matt Batusak, number 17, the right fielder, batting from the right side. And I don't know if he was trying to drag one down the third base line or trying for the bunt as Carter throws over to first. Batusak with a bit of a lead there.
Now, we should remind everybody, we will have the Avon game tomorrow at Avon.
Avon game tomorrow evening at 5:30, I believe, as Jones lifts one high in the air to center field. Camping underneath it is Houston, and he brings it in for the second out. So the Orioles have a runner at first base and 2 down. And coming to the plate is the cleanup hitter, Christian Reynolds.
I was just going to comment that our friend Brian Scott will have the call of that game.
Brian Scott will have the call in Avon tomorrow, the Bulldogs and the Orioles in the home-and-home series, as they like to say.
You guys put in a long night the other night.
Yes, we did. 14 innings of baseball, and really good and entertaining baseball, really a tale of 2 games. The Dogs coming up on the short end. Reynolds grounds one to third, over to Comer, and that will do it. So the Orioles leave one, and on an error is how that hitter reached, and after a half an inning, there's no score.
Hey, what is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. It's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Chandler Sanborn will be on the mound for the Orioles. He'll be taking his signs from Dylan Jones, number 32, the catcher. Over at first base is number 44, Matt Moore. Over at second base, number 15, Justin Dunham. The third baseman is number 5, Jake Smith. At shortstop is number 16, Christian Reynolds. In left field is Strobel, number 9. In center field will be Johnson, number 33. He's their leadoff hitter. And Batusak, the number 2 hitter, is number 17, is in right field. That's the defense, how they set up for the Orioles. We don't want to forget that the Bulldogs are coached by a staff of Eric Mattingly, Craig Costello, Jeff McDowell, Zach Dennis, and Greg Horn. We thank them for all of the time and effort that they give to Brownsburg baseball. The Avon coaching staff is Troy Drochet, Ryan East, Corey Ebert, and the freshman head coach is Brandon Wagler for Avon. So these two perennial, I guess, rivals here in Hendricks County. And again, just a beautiful night for baseball. The temperatures have warmed up in central Indiana. We're going to be in the 80s tomorrow. We look forward to that. And leading off for the Dogs is number 4, the shortstop, Michael Hartnagel. Hartnagel, in 14 innings of play the other night against Westfield in the split between the Shamrocks and the Bulldogs. That pitch is in there for a strike, and the count's 1-1 to the shortstop, Hartnagel. He played an excellent game. Was, I think, 3 for 4 in the first game, and he grounds one to first base. Nice play over there and throwing over to the pitcher, covering, and he doesn't get him. So a nice play by Moore trying to get the ball back to Sanborn, covering the bag. And Hartnagel, as we were just talking about, out-hustles it, and he's at first base with an infield single. So Hunter Liam, the left fielder, steps in. He's a right-handed hitter as well. And the Dogs are in business with their leadoff hitter on. No score here in the bottom half of the first. Nice crowd on hand. People starting to filter in and fill up the Brownsburg side of the seats. I'm actually a little surprised to not have more folks up from Avon over on the visitor side. Here's the pitch. Looking to bunt, a little small ball early on. Fouls it away, does Liam, for strike 1. Sanborn on the mound, the right-handed hurler for the Orioles. As Liam steps back in. Gets his sign. Here's the 0-1. Squares around to bunt again. High pitch. They throw out, snap throw to first, and they don't get him. As Hartnagel is back safely with some room to spare. Liam taps the bat on the plate. Hartnagel with a nice lead at first. Here's the 1-1. Down and away. Snap throw to first. They got Hartnagel picked off, but they may not get him. Throw to second. He's safe. So Hartnagel gets caught leaning. Almost a delayed steal. I don't know if that was planned or not, but Hartnagel with a big lead. A snap throw down to first, down to Moore from Jones for the Orioles, and Hartnagel ends up at second base. That will go down as a stolen base. 2 balls and 1 strike to Liam. Misses. That's in there on the outside corner for a strike. The count goes to 2-2.
I just snapped a photo of you for our fans on the internet to see you calling the game. So there
Our
are
fans
now,
on the internet.
there are now because you are live on xrbradio.com as well as Audio Sports Online. So I just posted a picture of you exquisitely calling the action.
I like that. Thank you very much. Liam fouls it away, stays alive in the count. It's 2-2. So the Dogs have got a runner at second. No score here, bottom half of the first inning. Grounded down to the first baseline, and Moore steps on the bag. That moves Hartnagel over to third. So without the use of the bunt and free swinging, they get the runner over to third base, and they've got a...
That's a good out.
That is a good out. They've got a runner 90 feet away. The lead what would be the go-ahead run here very early on in the game.
Hey, big day for Brownsburg High School. This is the last day for Athletic Director Greg Hill.
Is it? Tyler Houston steps in as our number 3 hitter.
And the first
first day for Kelly Wagner, who is the new athletic director here at Brownsburg. Kelly played basketball here, I think so. I believe.
And her is it nephew?
Pitch misses high, one ball and one strike. She did play basketball here, right? Is that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so that's always nice to see a previous HSAA athlete coming back to their alma mater to take on an administrative position. That misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Houston.
Really a perfect day for baseball.
It's a beautiful day it's a beautiful day to do about anything. Beautiful day for baseball. Here's the 2-0 to Houston. Ball gets away. Hartnagel will not advance. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. I'm sorry, 2 balls and 1 strike.
A lot of little leaguers here.
It is. Brownsburg, of course, with a very successful and well-respected Little League program. So myself and the scoreboard operator just had a discussion, and as happens in my life sometimes, I allowed the scoreboard operator to talk me into the fact that it was 2-1. It was not. It was 3-0, so that pitch is outside. So Tyler Houston is at first, Hartnagel at third, and the third baseman, Cody Gill, the right-handed hitting third baseman, steps into the plate. The Bulldogs that look to get a little something going here in the bottom half of the first. First pitch is in there for a strike.
I'd be very curious to know what the percentage is of the team that scores first wins.
In baseball? I don't know. I would say it does not have. How many do you, if you score 1 run, of course, in the high school and college ranks, it would be a lot less than I would say in Major League Baseball.
Now,
or a lot less.
If you were a fan of the Pacers, you would want the Pacers not to score first because the team that scored first in each of the 3 playoff games has lost.
Pitch is in there to Gill for a strike. The count goes to 0-2. Pacers in action tonight at 7 o'clock, I believe.
Yes.
From Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Game 4 of their Eastern Conference playoffs. The first round. Sanborn steps off the mound, looks over at first, no throw, and he's ready to deliver the 0-2 to Gill. Ball is driven to right field, but foul. Get out of play and get into the fenced-in grassy area past the bullpen there. Keeps the count at 0-2.
Now, you're, of course, a Little League father, but you have to, you're a Cubs and Royals fan. You have to wear that Pirates jersey, though.
I do. That ball is lifted to center field, and coming on is Johnson, the right fielder. Batusak comes over in front of Johnson and makes the catch. So 2 outs now, runners at first and third. The Dogs in danger of leaving runners stranded at the corners.
That's
so
really
Jackson
an at-bat.
McGowan will try and keep that from happening.
I was just going to say that's really an at-bat where you got to get that runner home.
You do.
Fly ball, ground ball, whatever.
Yeah.
And the Bulldogs didn't do it that
You're
time.
In your position to sacrifice yourself for the hit, and they don't get it done. Although he did lift the ball in the air to send to right center field. It was too shallow to score the run. So Jackson McGowan steps in, number 8. He's the DH, the right-handed hitter. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. This is the pitch. Down and inside for a ball, 1-0.
Do have a third broadcast coming up this week. Friday, it'll be Lafayette Jefferson at home.
Lafayette Jeff on Friday here against the Dogs. I will not be doing that game, so you'll have Mr. Kendall and
nobody. Worley's on vacation.
Mr. Kendall and himself. Mr. Kendall and the crack scoreboard staff that we have here in the booth with us.
Maybe old Brian Scott will come do that one too.
Pitch is in there for a strike. Counts 1-1. 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Bottom half of the first. No score from Brownsburg.
Because I'm far better when I'm not announcing.
You think so? You bring so much color. Well, that's what you're doing. You're the color commentator.
Yeah.
So much color to the game.
Like, you were kind of born to do this. I was not.
If I can keep from bumping the mouse over here on the computer.
Yes, eventually you're going to destroy the equipment.
That will help us. Throw it to first, runners back without a problem.
Troy, half of being a successful broadcaster is learning the equipment.
It is. I will admit that
I'm really nannying you at this
in
point
my
by hooking it
experience.
all
In
up.
my experience, the technical aspect of this was not ever my strong suit.
Well, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Sandberg looks on, gets the signs from Jones. Here's the 1-1. fouled away, takes the count to 1-2 strikes. Lots of cars getting dinged over the last 14 to 15 innings of baseball that we've announced over the course of the last week so far.
You know, the key is you got to park way away from the
Way
facility.
away from the facility.
A little extra walking never hurt anybody.
1-2 strikes. Sandburn looks in, and here's the 1-2. Grounded to the right side and picked up nicely by the second baseman Dunham over to Moore. And that will do it for the Dogs in the bottom half of the first. So after one from Mary Beth Rose Park in Brownsburg, it's Avon nothing and the Dogs nothing.
Hey, Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you enjoy. Our orthopedic and sports medicine doctors are backed by award-winning physical therapists. This expert team uniquely addresses the needs of kids, seniors, athletes, and working professionals to restore their lifestyle. Get more information online at mymotion360.org.
You talked about the Cubs a little bit ago, and the Padres will be at Wrigley Field tonight for an 8:05 Eastern first pitch against the Cubs. Very interesting aspect to Indiana high school athletics tonight at the Wrigley Field, as Clayton Richard from McCutcheon High School, who we saw just a few years ago pitching for McCutcheon up there, the former
saw him hit a home run over that scoreboard. Well,
yes,
not that scoreboard.
we did.
It was a different scoreboard.
That's right. Clayton Richard is the former Indiana Mr. Baseball.
Yes.
And he'll be facing off against Jeff Samardzija, who is the former Indiana Mr. Football. And they'll both be on the mound tonight for the Cubs and the Padres at Wrigley Field at 8 o'clock.
Well, this is some compelling television.
That is good, isn't it? So good stuff there. And this goes, again, to show. You know, and I always go back and I think about Samardzija as the Dogs are out there taking a little bit of infield in between innings. And Carter with his warm-up pitches. I just really think he should have played. I really think Samardzija should have played football. I'm always drawn to that, and it was.
I agree with you. You know, it's Tyler Eifert was drafted by the Bengals,
yeah.
And I kind of think Eifert, Samardzija, very similar.
Yeah,
sort of
very
player.
similar. Yeah.
I was not consulted in the decision-making process.
No, we were not.
Thus, we're here.
So here's the pitcher, Chandler Sandburn, number 12, the right-handed hitter for the Orioles, trying to help himself out a little bit. He takes that first pitch for inside for a ball. The count's 1-0.
We do want to welcome all of our friends listening on xrbradio.com. And
second
beautiful,
pitch is a
beautiful
strike.
evening. Out here at the
Beautiful
stadium.
evening. It really is. 1-1 strike to Sandburn.
The outfield truck crew, whatever their names are, I'm not sure what they're going by. Are they still going by left field junkies? Okay, all right.
I don't know if Junkies is a
Well, that was the name.
is a compelling name or not.
And that
big
was the
swing
name
and a
that
miss
stuck.
on the breaking ball, and down goes Sandburn. Nice pitch by Carter. He took him to 1-2 with the fastball and nice inside breaking ball. And he starts off the inning with a strikeout. Here's the second baseman, number 15, Justin Dunham. He's a right-handed hitter as well. Not a lot of lefties in either one of these lineups. We did see a few left-handers as he squares around a bunt, and it's a beauty. Coming off the mound fast and thrown over to first, but they will not get him. So Carter makes a nice play off the mound and makes a nice throw over to Comer. They cannot complete the play. That'll go down as an infield hit, and it's a second one by the Orioles here in the early part of this game.
Hard to believe we are rapidly approaching the last month of the school year.
Yeah, we are. My son and I were just talking about that on the way over here. We're approaching the last months of the school year here in Avon and Brownsburg. Snap throw to first. They almost got him. Almost got him. So Dunham might think twice before taking that extra step in his leadoff at first base.
Are you going to do football with me this fall?
I am.
Perfect.
I am. And I'm assuming we will have a new facility.
We do.
By them.
It's on the verge of being completed.
Yeah. So, well, it doesn't look like it's on the verge of being completed, but it is being built,
Well,
yes.
They have a large brick structure.
They
up.
do have a large brick structure that's very similar to this press box, and I hope that we have a good vantage point for the game, which I would imagine
they may
that we
stick
will.
us on the roof.
They might, but that's okay. That is okay.
Oh, there's 3 levels.
Yeah, it's very high as
So
that pitch is high
they've
for a
got
ball.
Good, bad, and Kindle section.
Exactly,
on the viewing at the press box.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at first. No score here in the top half of the second.
It looks very
Dunham.
nice.
It is. It looks very nice. Runner goes. The ball is lifted to second base. Sampson hauls it in. They will not have a play at first.
I don't know if it's just because the Little Leaguers are here tonight, but it seems like the folks are a little more enthusiastic.
A little rowdy.
Could be because it's Avon.
Well, that could be, and it's a great night for baseball. Both the benches are very involved, as we usually find them to be here at Mary Beth Rose Park. All the Bulldogs are up off of the bench and hanging on the fence, as are the Orioles.
2 out, 1 on. Top half of the second. No score.
Carter will look in. He's got Justin Dunham, 1 runner at first. Snap throw over there. He won't get him. Dunham back safely with some room to spare. Misses down and inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strike. 2 outs. Top of 2, no score. Inside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, throw over to first again. Dunham is back. Dunham and Carter are playing a little game of cat and mouse over there. Way inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I never hit a home run on this field.
No?
Got it to the outfield a few times.
370 to center.
Closest I ever got was I hit it to the warning track in the air. 1 hopped it to the fence.
Yeah.
Got a triple.
Use that speed. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner at first. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. Got a little piece of the catcher, but looks like Yeager's okay. I'll have the home plate umpire take a look at the ball and get it back to Carter on the mound. Very cozy up here tonight compared to our temperatures the other night. We were in this ball is grounded foul past first. We were in the booth here, but having the windows cracked to allow for some of that sounds of the game to be broadcast over the radio as well. And the fans that stuck around had to be freezing. Temperatures dropped into the low 40s and high 30s before we were done with the second half of our doubleheader. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. Here's the 2-2 inside for ball 3. So Carter has taken Strobel to a full count. Throw over to first. There's nobody there, and the ball gets away. So Comer had come off the bag and was not covering. And Strobel's going to make the wide turn at second and end up at third, and that's a 2-base error on the Dogs.
I'll tell you what, Troy, that was just a little miscommunication there. I think Comer was in a defensive stance, and fortunately for the Bulldogs, the pitcher had other ideas. Good hustle by the Avon runner.
Somebody missed a defensive sign. And Comer had come off the bag with 2 outs, not holding the runner.
The good news is,
with a full count, that ball is lined over to Sampson at second, who hauls it in.
That's what I was just going to say. Good news. Get the out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Hey, spring is here. It's time to give that outdated jewelry a makeover. Diamonds are forever, but styles change and mountings wear away. Let the professionals at Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you create a fresh and unique custom design. Nelson Jewelers offers an in-house jewelry repair shop to ensure your jewelry receives the utmost care. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary. No score, bottom half of the second. Back to our play-by-play broadcaster, Troy Weimer.
Thank you, Rob. As Rob said, we are approaching the bottom half of the second inning. And the Dogs will be coming to bat here shortly. We have no score in the game. And it is no runs on 1 hit for the Orioles. No runs on 1 hit and 2 errors already committed by the Bulldogs. Neither one of those errors has hurt them. A throwing error, a little miscommunication on the defensive signals, gets a runner to third base in the top half of the second.
Had a lot of comments from our fans about our new video view this year. It's unique.
It is
different.
Unique.
This obviously was a press box that creates a little bit of a creative mindset to get the camera angle out there, so it's different.
We are not high enough to, as you will not be in high school sports, to be above the fence. First pitch is high and a ball to Kyle Yeager, the catcher, number 3, the right-handed hitter. Second pitch by Sam Burns down the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now, the history of this rivalry in baseball is big innings. A lot of big innings will happen in this rivalry, and we'll see if today is an exception or follows the rule.
That misses outside, ball 3, and 3 balls, no strikes to Yeager. Dogs would look to get a big inning here if they could, and he walks him on 4 pitches. So not what Sanborn wanted, but just what the Dogs did, and the leadoff hitters walked on 4 pitches, and he's at first base with nobody out.
Next up, the first baseman, number 24, Sam Comer.
Sam Comer, the first baseman, steps in, the right-handed hitter. Comer batting 7th tonight. Runner at first and nobody out. Sanborn looks in, gets his sign from Jones as Comer squares to bunt, and he does, and it's going to be foul down the third base line.
Well, nothing more simple in baseball than to bunt the ball, but oftentimes a difficult task, especially to ask a first baseman.
And we saw that in the last game against Westfield, the doubleheader the other night, in 2 sacrifice situations trying to move a runner over. A pop out to the pitcher and a line drive to the pitcher, both caught for outs. And as Sanborn looks on and Comer squares the bunt again, he misses the bunt, snap throw to first, and he's safe. So Jones, the catcher for the Orioles, is very active with the ball. But one of the things that you see, and right there on the technique by Comer, is square around the bunt, and they're trying to push the ball into the outfield. And in a sacrifice, you need to push that ball down into the turf. As Comer swinging away and lifts it down the right field line. That's going to drop in for a hit. So the runners will be at first and second. Little lazy Texas leaguer over the first baseman's head drops just inside the foul line, and the Dogs have got runners at first and second with nobody out there in the bottom half of the second inning.
Yeah, all's well that ends well for the Bulldogs on that one. But as you said, Troy, one of the issues Brownsburg's had early on in the year is fundamentals, whether it's throwing strikes or fielding balls. And right there, another example of that. Thankfully for Brownsburg this time, it did not hurt them. Sampson around a bunt, as you can see there.
Sampson will square as the first baseman charges. The third baseman does not. And that's
Now, I got a feeling when your father's a former Major League Baseball player, you learn how to bunt.
I would say so. All the Sampsons that have come through the program here have been had some success, and I believe both of his older brothers are playing college ball. Or no, one of them is.
One of them is, and I think we were just talking about that before the game, where the middle Sampson is at, who actually graduated early from Brownsburg High School.
That is correct.
Sammy Sampson, I believe, was his name.
That is correct. Pitch is down and away, 2-0, and Sanborn's having a little bit of trouble here early.
Yeah, we remind you, if you are watching our video feed or listening on the radio tonight, still plenty of time to get out to the stadium. Beautiful night to sit out in a packed Brownsburg section.
Sampson will square to bunt again. Interesting, and that ball's down and in the dirt. Throw to second, and he is back safely. Again, I'll say it again, the catcher, Jones, very active for the Orioles. Dylan Jones, number 32. You're talking about fundamentals that the other night, the Dogs basically, they did like what you like to call throwing the ball around, and they threw it around way too much, and some throwing errors and the extra throw that they didn't need. Here's the 3-0 in their first strike, 3 balls and 1 strike to Sampson.
Well, it's interesting because last year's team had a lot of those same issues, and towards the end of the year really got it together during that state tournament run that ended up being very successful. So hopefully this year we'll mirror that. Just a reminder to everyone, as let Troy call this pitch here.
In their first strike, count goes full.
We got 2 broadcasts coming up through the rest of the week. Of course, we got Avon's the game tomorrow at Avon, and then Friday we'll be at home against Lafayette Jeff. So if you can't make it out to either one of those games, we will have 2 more broadcasts for you later on in the week.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4, and a walk, a base hit, and a walk have loaded the bases here in the bottom of the second for the Dogs. So here's Garrett Ish, the right fielder, number 22. He's a right-handed hitter, and he's got 3 ducks out there and nobody out here in the bottom half of the second as the Dogs look to get a jump early in this game, get some early runs, and he drives one to right field, but it's going to be foul. And no, coming over and making the catch is the right fielder. Tagging from third and scoring is the catcher, Yeager. So the sacrifice not really planned that way, but he loops one into foul territory. Nice hustle by Batusak to get over there He gets the ball into Jones, but just a little too late. And the catcher, Yeager, scores from third. So the Dogs will have runners at first and third. The runner advances from second to third on the throw to the plate. So runners will be at the corners with one out. And the scrappy shortstop, number 4, Hartnagel, steps in as the right-handed hitter.
Still a lot of scoring opportunity here for the Dogs. Runner at third, runner at first, and just one out as we have this meeting at the mound.
Coaching staff from the Orioles coming out to bring in the infield and have a little conference at the mound. It was very interesting, the defensive strategy or posture that the Orioles were taking. He had a runner at third, runners at first and third, and squaring around to bunt, the first baseman charging, the third baseman staying back. Just didn't seem like if Sampson were at the time able to get that bunt down, that they would have been able to pull off a play. They might have kept the runner from scoring, but definitely Sampson would have been able to beat that out because he just had to outrun the first baseman back to first. So,
well, and it's always, that problem if you're Avon of do you trade a run for an out right here?
Absolutely. Runners at the corners, one out. One run across here for the Dogs. And now they've got it. Runner at first is in a rundown. Runner at third was going to try and advance. They're looking him back, and he is out at first. So Comer does not advance from third.
And that was a really tough decision by the runner at third, whether to go or stay. You assume he was listening to the coach on that one, as I think that was one of the goals was to get him in a rundown so they could get that runner home.
So Sampson gets picked off at first. Comer does not advance from third to home. And with two outs and now a runner at third for Hartnagel. Here's the first pitch to him. Misses for a ball.
So now you need a hit with 2 outs, runner at third, or a pass ball, of course. Either way would get you home.
1-0 pitch is lifted high to deep right center field. Drifting over is the center fielder. He dropped the ball against the fence. Hartnagel's speedy. He's going to advance to third base, and he might score. No, they're going to hold him at third. So Hartnagel hits one deep to right center. And the center fielder, Johnson, I tell you,
looked like he was trying to make a case that he caught the ball.
He's trying to make the case he caught the ball, but I think that ball was over the fence. I think he brought it back.
Yeah, he was very animated that he caught the ball, or as animated as you could be laying down on the ground.
The ball did fall and hit the ground. Of course, the rule is that if in transition from the glove to the throwing hand, you drop the ball, it is a catch. But that does not look like that was the case, as he was going in. We don't have the luxury of replay right here in front of us.
Once we load the archive.
We will.
But of course, the problem is we can't see it from our camera.
That is true. I think he pulled that back. I think that ball was drifting barely over the right center field fence, and now.
Now here's the problem with only having 2 umpires, though. How is the umpire going to get out there and make that catch? Because he's responsible for the bases.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have a conference here right now and talk about it.
The one umpire is noticeably taller than the other umpire.
He is very much taller than the other one.
You can see that on the top left portion of your screen as we web TV cast this for you. Almost like a father and son team.
Liam would be next.
And the son says no, it was not a catch.
So,
and now the bad thing is, you wonder if they argued with each other who was going to make the call, because they knew whoever made the call, the coach for Avon was going to come out and scream at him, and that's who's getting the business right now.
Is definitely the fielding umpire's call, and.
Well, look, it's easy to get on the umpires. I'm sure make their fair share of mistakes, but that's a very hard call to make, considering he has to stay near the bases in order to call. That's his responsibility by design. So
exactly, it seemed very apparent that it was a great effort by the center fielder Johnson, and he probably, in my estimation, it looks like he probably saved a home run, but the ball came out of his glove after when he brought it back over the fence. So Liam will step in. 2 runs across on 2 hits for the Dogs. Runner at third and 2 out. The count's 1-0 to Liam. Or no balls and no strikes. He lifts one to third base, and it bounces over the head of the third baseman Smith. That will score Hartnagel from third. And it will go down as a hit. So 3 runs on 3 hits for
all
the
breaks
Dogs.
going the Bulldogs' way now.
They are.
And think, Troy, if they hadn't ran themselves into an out, where they'd be.
Exactly. And one of that's to talk about those mental errors and just the fundamental breakdown every once in a while that we've seen so far this season by the Dogs. Houston steps in, the right-handed hitter. Runner at first and 2 out. 3 runs across here for the Dogs in the bottom of the second. They lead it 3-0. Pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch is down in the dirt. The runner will not advance. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So as we should remind everybody that if you are, of course, a fan, obviously you must be a fan of some sort. If you're watching this broadcast, we do podcast all the games, and you can watch a couple of our previous broadcasts up there. So if you want to relive the magic of Troy Weimer's play-by-play duties, check them out anytime you want. We have them up by the next day.
Liam takes ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm sorry, Houston takes ball 2. Liam's at first. Tyler Houston, the right-handed hitting center fielder. Fouls one away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. 3-0 Dogs, bottom half of the second inning. Ball's lifted behind second base. Dunham fading back there into shallow center field makes the catch. So in an interesting inning, the Dogs get 3 runs on 2 hits. And after 2, the Dogs lead it 3-0.
Hey, you're finally on your own, living in your own place, paying your bills, making your own decisions. When your decisions involve insurance and financial needs, it's nice to have a little help. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay. He knows that being on your own shouldn't feel like being alone. State Farm agent Pete Fay is at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Thank you, Rob, and we do want to thank everybody that is joining us at audiosportsonline.com for the Bulldogs and the Orioles, as well as our listeners on xrbradio.com. It is 3-0 Brownsburg as we go to the top half of the third inning. On the mound for the Dogs is Carter. Yeager behind the plate, Comer at first, Sampson at second, Hartnagel remains at shortstop, Gills at third. The outfielders left to right are Liam, Houston, and Ish. This is the starting lineup as it remains intact from the beginning of the game. Again, a beautiful day for baseball here in Brownsburg. The windows are open here in the press box, and then the nice crowd on hand, as has been the tradition this year for the Dogs. Even the other night in the doubleheader against Westfield, that the Bulldogs were able to split against the conference-leading Shamrocks. Very chilly temperatures then, and a nice crowd remained on hand for that game, bundled up. Carter looks on, and first pitch misses for a ball outside. Jake Smith, the third baseman, is the leadoff hitter for the Orioles, the right-handed hitter. Here's the 1-0.
I see Gordon Hayward's dad out there in the stands, top row.
That missed, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know me, always looking for celebrities at the ball game.
Gordon having a very successful start to his career with the Utah Jazz. Kind of a haphazard swing there by Smith. The count goes to 2-1. Off-speed pitch on the corner kind of fooled him.
I think I do see Mrs. Weimer.
You do.
Right there.
Ball is lifted to center field, and fading back is Houston, and he will haul it in. So the ball is hit well, but Houston just takes a couple of steps to his right and hauls it in. So Cole Johnson steps in. He's the leadoff hitter and center fielder for the Orioles. Made a nice play in center field. Couldn't quite hold on to it. The pitch is way inside for a ball, 1-0. In the bottom half of the second inning, a really nice play where the Dogs were able to get 3 runs on the board. They lead it 3-0 here, top of the third, 1 out. Ball's outside for a ball, 2-0. in there for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Johnson. Dalton Carter, the right-handed pitcher on the mound for the Dogs, pitched very well. The ball is roped down the left field line and fair. It's up against the fence. Fielding it off of the fence is Liam. Gets the ball into Hartnagel, and that's a double to left field for the leadoff hitter, Cole Johnson.
You know, the ball really seems to be bouncing out there.
It is. The field is just in fantastic shape, especially considering the amount of moisture that we've had,
Yeah.
the amount of rain, and
Really,
even the other night.
I mean, it really, you would think with all that water, or the water we had, or wetness, or snow, or whatever it was, that you wouldn't get a lot of bounce out there. But that ball looked like it might hop over the fence.
Yeah, it did. It almost did. It hit the yellow plastic ring. As that ball is lifted to center field, Houston will camp underneath it. He'll look the runner back, and he will not advance as he gets it in quickly to third base over to Gill. So runner at second and 2 out.
Well, it always comes down to a 2-out hit, Troy.
Got a runner in scoring position, and Dylan Jones, the catcher, the right-handed hitting catcher, will step in and see if he can get a run across here for the Orioles in the top half of the third inning. Carter looks on. Ball is high, 1-0. Yeah. Carter gets a sign from Yeager. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, nice pitch, and way out in front of it is Jones. The count goes.
He's throwing a
one
lot
ball and 1 strike.
He's throwing a lot of strikes.
Throwing a lot of strikes.
Now the wind is blowing out towards left field.
Very contrary to the other night when we had a stiff breeze blowing left to right. Basically foul pole to foul pole the other night. The Wrigley wind, as we referred to it. That pitch is down
tonight,
the
if you
dirt.
could get one up in the air, really now looking towards left center field, you'll be okay.
2 balls and 1 strike. 2 out, runner at second. Pitch is roped to third base. Nice play by Gill. He'll throw it over to Comer. And Comer can't come up with it on the throw's a little bit low. So, and I will tell you that the Bulldogs have had some adventures at third base as far as their throw. It seems like some nice fielding going on, but the throw to first base has caused them some problems, especially over the course of the last 3 games.
Had a lot of time on that one, and not sure whether that was just a bad throw or Comer probably should have had it. I don't know. I'm blocked by a giant wall between where the ball is thrown and when it is caught.
So that will be the third error of the game for the Dogs. So that's an error. That's an error apiece for each inning. Ball's grounded to third and fair down the line. That'll score a run. The runner will stop at second base. So that ball is roped down the left field line by number 16, Christian Reynolds, the shortstop. Chandler Sanborn, the pitcher, will step in and again in a position to help himself out. Runners at first and second and 2 out. The first pitch to him is down for a ball, 1-0. Up the middle for a base hit. So runner rounds third, coming home. It's going to be a close play at the plate, and he's going to be safe. The ball bounced. Yeager tried to barehand it on the awkward hop to try and make the tag. He cannot do it. So Avon is within a run now, 3-2 here in the top half of the third. 3 runs across in the bottom of the second for Brownsburg. 2 runs across in the top of the third for Avon. Justin Dunham, the second baseman, the right-handed hitting second baseman, steps into the box with 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. First pitch is a breaking ball that kind of gets away real high, and Dunham ducks out of the way. That'll take the count to 1-0. So Reynolds at third, Dylan Jones, the catcher, at second. Big swing and a miss on another breaking ball for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs.
Both teams hitting the ball great.
They are hitting the ball very well. knocking it around.
Neither team fielding the ball exceptionally well.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss on another off-speed pitch for strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Line to right. Sampin's there to bring it in. So second baseman Sampin snags the line drive headed for right field. And after 2.5 innings, Mary Beth Rose Park in Brownsburg. Brownsburg 3, Avon 2.
Hey, spring is here. It's time to give that outdated jewelry a makeover. Diamonds are forever, but styles change and mountings wear away. Let the professionals at Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you create a fresh and unique custom design. Nelson Jewelers offers an in-house jewelry repair shop to ensure your jewelry receives the utmost care. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Thank you, Rob. Here we are. We're getting ready to head to the bottom half of the third inning. Brownsburg leads this game 3-2.
I'm going to go socialize with some of the fans.
You should
so
do
you
that.
Need me.
Pass out your business cards.
I'll be just right down there.
You got it. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Orioles. 3 runs on 3 hits. And the glaring number on the scoreboard right now for Brownsburg is the 3 at the end of their line score. 3 errors through 3 innings for Brownsburg. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on audiosportsonline.com and xrbradio.com. Hoosier Crossroads Conference Baseball, the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Avon Orioles, live from Mary Beth Rose Park in Brownsburg. Beautiful night for baseball. About 70 degrees and sunny. As Cody Gill, the third baseman, steps into the box, he'll be our leadoff hitter. The pitcher, number 12, Chandler Sandburn, the right-handed hurler, is still on the mound for the Orioles. Here's the first pitch. Inside for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to Gill. High and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Sandburn looks, get the sign from Jones. Here's the 2-0. Down and away for ball 3. So Gill comes in, lets the bat rest on his shoulder for the first 3 pitches, and it's 3-0. On the outside corner for a strike, 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike for strike 2. So Sandburn fights his way back from 3-0, gets the count full with Gill, and here's the 3-2 pitch. Driven to right field. That's going to drop for a hit and maybe hit the gap. It is not cut off nicely by Batusak in right field, so Gill will stay at first base with a shot single to right field. And here's the DH, Jackson McGowan. McGowan, the right-handed hitter. So Gill at first base. The Dogs lead at 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. Runner at first, nobody out. Sandburn looks in. Here's the pitch. McGowan, big swing and a miss for a strike. Strike 1. Nice crowd on hand, as we've alluded to more than once. Beautiful night here in Brownsburg. Ball up the middle, bounces off of Sandburn's foot. He can't find it. Everybody's going to be safe. That'll go down as a hit. Turn our attention to the pitcher, number 12, Chandler Sandburn. Make sure he's okay. He appears that he is. As Avon coaching staff ask him how he's doing. He gives a nod of approval to the dugout, and he'll continue. And here's the catcher, Yeager, and he calls time and steps out. Gets his signs from Coach Manley down the third baseline. Yeager steps back in the box. So runners at first and second, nobody out. First 2 hitters of the inning are on board. The ball's bunted foul down the third baseline. So Dogs having a little trouble dropping the bunts in fair territory tonight. Catcher Yeager stepping in, the right-handed hitter. McGowan at first, Cody Gill at second. 3-2 lead for the Dogs. Bottom of the third, nobody out. Here's the 0-1. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes the ball low for 1-1. Nice job there, pulling the bat back by Yeager. One ball, one strike, 3-2. Dogs lead. 3 runs on 5 hits for Brownsburg. Squaring to bunt Yeager again and drops down a nice one. That'll move the runners over. The throw to first, they'll get Yeager by a couple of steps. So moves the runners over to second and third. So 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And the first baseman, Sam Comer, will step in. Comer, the right-handed hitting first baseman. Here's the first pitch. High up by the chin for a ball, 1-0. Comer up there, probably like to put a charge into one here. 1 ball and no strikes. Sandburn looks. Here's the pitch. Down the dirt. Ball 2, 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls and no strikes, 1 out. Bottom half of the third inning, runners at second and third for Comer. 2-0 is on the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sandberg gets the sign from Jones, and here's the 2-1. Fouled straight back at us for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Comer. 1 out. Runners at second and third. 3-2 Dogs. Bottom of the third. Here's a 2-2. Hung a breaking ball up there, but it's high. That'll send the count full. So full count. Couple of RBIs sitting out there for Comer. Fouls it right back at us again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Comer stays alive. Fouls it away. Kids your age? Hey, don't go anywhere else. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. 3-2 pitch is high, and Comer walks. So the bases will be loaded for Caleb Sampin, the second baseman. The right-handed hitting second baseman. He steps in. He's made a couple of nice defensive plays in the infield. Bases loaded, 1 out. Dogs lead it by 1, 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. Pitch to Sampin is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Comer at first. Yeager at second. And over at third base is Cody Gill. So another conference at the mound by the Orioles coaching staff. 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors committed by the Bulldogs. Hasn't hurt them too much. The Orioles have 2 runs on 4 hits. They have not committed an error yet so far. No scores to report yet from the majors, as those games will have their first pitch coming around here in about a half an hour. Pacers in action tonight at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference playoffs, their first round playoff series against the Hawks. They lead that series 2-1 at a really rough outing the other night. We're ready back for baseball. Here's the 1-0 to Sampin. Fouled away for a strike, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Bases loaded for Sampin. Ball's lifted down the right field line, charging hard as Batusak, and he will make the catch. The runner will try and score from home, and now he's going to be picked off. Throw to third to get him. He got around the tag. He's safe. So Gill does a nice job of getting back to the bag at third base. That'll bring up Garrett Ish, the right fielder. Garrett Ish, the right fielder, right-handed hitter, steps in. Bases loaded, 2 outs now. No runs across yet here in the third. The first pitch is a strike, 0-1. Second pitch in there for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded for Garrett Ish. Sanborn looks on. Here's the 2-0. Lifted high in the air down the right field line. That's going to get out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three-two lead here for the Dogs, looking to get some more. Ish steps in. Here's the 2-1. Way outside for ball 3, so no place to put him. The walk will result in an RBI for Ish, another run for the Dogs. Here's a 3-1 by Sanborn. Misses high, and I had the count off. I apologize for that. That makes it 3 balls and 2 strikes. They called it a strike. So the count full, bases loaded. Here's the 3-2. Ripped to left field for a base hit. 1 run is home. Rounding second and scoring is the runner from second base. And just like that, the Dogs have got 2 on the board. They lead it 5-2. McGowan and Gill score. Gill from third, McGowan from second. As Garrett Ish singles to left field, gets 2 RBIs. And now, here comes Hartnagel, the shortstop and leadoff hitter, with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Here's a pitch by Sanborn. Big breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. 2 runs across here in the third for Brownsburg. They lead at 5-2. Sanborn gets the sign from Jones, and here is the 0-1 to Hartnagel. Another big looping breaking ball. That one misses for a ball. The count's 1-1. Here's a 1-1. Driven to right field. It's going to get foul down the line. Hartnagel a little early there. The right fielder, Batusak, is shading more towards center field, so there was definitely some space out there for him to drop one to the opposite field, get some extra bases, get these 2 runs home. Shading him to the left is the Oriole defense in the outfield. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 to Hartnagel. In there for a strike, he got him looking. So nice pitch to wrap things up for Sanborn. He gets knocked around a little bit in the bottom half of the third as the Dogs get 2 runs on 2 hits. 2 runs on 3 hits. They lead it after 3, 5-2 as we get ready to go to the top of the fourth. What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. It's State Farm agent Pete Fay. He takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit Farm Agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield Drive, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body. to get you back to the activities you enjoy. Our orthopedic and sports medicine doctors are backed by award-winning physical therapists. This expert team uniquely addresses the needs of kids, seniors, athletes, and working professionals to restore their lifestyle. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Those of you who are joining us on audiosportsonline.com and on xrbradio.com for Hoosier Crossroads Conference Baseball between the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Avon Orioles, live from Mary Beth Rose Park in what is tonight a sunny and pleasant temperature-wise Brownsburg, Indiana. The Dogs lead it 5-2. The first pitch in there to the leadoff hitter, number 44, Matt Moore, the first baseman, is a strike, 0-1. So the Dogs lead it 5-2. 2 runs on a couple of hits there in the third inning. The top of the fourth starts off 1 ball and 1 strike. So,
well, hey, I'm a sponsor behind because I was down there being social.
I did them.
Oh, excellent. Good for you. Which ones did you get?
Oh, who did we do? We did the State Farm agent and the Motion 360.
So you're caught up. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're caught up.
You're the best.
Well, thank you very much.
As the Karate Kid theme song said, you're the best
yes.
around.
Yes, it is. 2 balls and 1 strike to Matt Moore.
I think that was Joe Esposito that wrote the Karate Kid theme.
You would know that, and by you saying it, I consider that gospel, that's true.
Well, I'm going to look it up, but I think that's who it was.
Excellent. We'll be curious to see if you're right. That ball's fouled down the third baseline. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Moore. Fouled away, stays alive. Count remains 2-2. So Dalton Carter, number 15, the right-handed pitcher for the Dogs, started off very well. That ball is lifted to right field, and coming on hard and diving to make the catch is Ish. Nice play in right field. Garrett Ish, the right fielder, number 22, with the diving catch to save a hit. If it gets by him, it's extra bases. It is not. It is an out.
It was Joe Esposito.
And with that, confirming Joe Esposito wrote "You're the Best," which would be the action theme from the original Karate Kid movie, correct?
You know, that's some of the most compelling action cinema from the 1980s.
It's a great movie. I loved it. Fouled into the Brownsburg dugout for strike 1. Stepping in there is number 9, Tasker Strobel, the left fielder.
It's a name, isn't it?
Well, I've been calling him Tasker, but I glanced down at the sheet and I thought, well, maybe that's not right because it's a bit of a chicken scratch. No offense. Just that one is.
Well,
everything else looks good.
I hurried that lineup card out for you.
Pitched in there for a ball, or outside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
As I was feverishly attempting to get everything ready for you.
I appreciate that.
Be able to perform broadcast excellence.
Very much. Thank you. Carter looks on, gets the sign from Yeager. Here's the 2-1. Misses for a ball 3. No. Had a little scoreboard malfunction there as the board went out on us. Ball lifted high in the air in the infield. Sampson camps under, but Hartnagel calls him off and makes the catch. The Dogs will throw it around, and 1 out.
It's a great crowd out there.
Real nice crowd. Very active crowd. Surprised there's not more folks on the Avon side. I figured
they
nice
probably
night
knew
like
they could
this.
watch the game online.
That could be.
And why wouldn't you?
Here's Jake Smith, number 5, the right-handed hitting third baseman for the Orioles. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Hey, we do want to thank Shane back in the XRB Radio studios, xrbradio.com, voice of Hendricks County. So special thanks to him.
Grounded over to third. Gill comes up nicely, tosses it over to Comer for the out. So no runs on no hits come across in the top half of the 4th inning for the Orioles, and after 3.5, Brownsburg leads it 5-2.
Okay, we're back to the top, and spring is here. It's time to give that outdated jewelry a makeover. Diamonds are forever, but styles change and mountings wear away. But the professionals at Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg help you create a fresh and unique custom design. Nelson Jewelers offers an in-house jewelry repair shop to ensure your jewelry receives the utmost care. Visit Nelson Jewelers for all your jewelry needs at 22 East Main Street and online at nelsonjewelers.com. A little out of the way, very much out of the ordinary.
Thank you, Rob. Sanborn will remain on the mound for the Orioles. Number 12's Chandler Sanborn, the right-handed pitcher who did start the game. Through 3.5 innings, it's 5 runs on 6 hits. for Brownsburg. 2 runs on 4 hits for Avon Orioles. 3 errors committed by the Dogs. We've been kind of discussing some of the fundamental challenges that Brownsburg seems to have had to start off this season.
This is an Adam Armstrong question, but who does the Brownsburg Athletics Twitter feed?
I believe Wes does it.
Okay.
Well, for the baseball team, it's Hunter Liam's sister. Oh, really? Yeah, Coach Mattingly's Twitter is ran by Hunter Liam's sister. I don't know her first name. He does all the website stuff. It's trouble.
Ball is lifted to right field, and a nice Batusak comes over and makes a nice catch.
Because I enjoy their regular updates that they have on the Brownsburg Athletics Twitter feed.
1 hitter, 1 out. First pitch bounces in there for a ball to Houston. Number 6, Tyler Houston, the center fielder. Stepping in, the right-handed hitter. In there for a strike, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. 5-2. The Dogs lead it here. Bottom half of the 4th inning. 1 out. Hit to left field, right between the shortstop and the third baseman. So Houston is aboard with a 1-out single, and he'll be at first base for the third baseman, Gill. Cody Gill, number 13, the right-handed hitting third baseman. No lefties in the lineup tonight for the Dogs. So, runner at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Gill. Outside for ball 1. Five-two Dogs, bottom of the 4th. 1 ball, no strike. Here's the 1-0. Fouled straight back. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at first. Looking on is Sandberg, gets the sign from Jones, and here is the 1-1. Grounded to the left side, fielded nicely. Long throw, they're not going to get him, and everybody's going to be safe. So Reynolds makes a nice effort from shortstop. Backhands it, throws across his body, tried to get it over to Moore in time, does not. So that'll go down as an infield hit.
What's that old saying, Troy? They all look the same in the scorebook.
That's exactly right. Back-to-back singles will be reflected in the scorebook for the Dogs. So runners at first and second with 1 out. And here's the DH, Jackson McGowan.
We got to give credit to the Brownsburg staff up here. They got the issue solved with the PA system, and now they're able to play theme music as the kids come up to bat.
Snap throw to first, nobody home, but fielded nicely over there by Moore to keep it from going into right field. The runners do not advance, and everybody's back safely.
Oh, okay. Well, good job. We love Starkweather. He is the best.
1 ball and no strike, 1 out. Runners at first and second.
I'm going to ask you a question after this pitch.
Okay. Here is the 1-0. Lifted to center field. Fielded nicely out there by Johnson, who will bring it in quickly. They will not get the runner advancing from second to third.
Hit the runner as he was sliding into third base. Actually, an advantageous bounce for Avon because that one was headed towards the dugout.
I believe it was also. And the Dogs will have runners at the corners with 2 out, and the catcher, Yeager, coming to the plate.
What would your theme song have been, you know?
We didn't have walk-up music.
I understand,
then,
but I'm saying if you had one when you were playing high school baseball as a Perry Meridian baseball player.
I don't know. I'll have to give that some thought. I don't know. Not that. It wouldn't have been country.
Well, that wasn't around.
Yeah, that's
when,
true.
When you were
That's-
during the Guns N' Roses era, right? So.
Actually, a little before. There goes a runner to second, and he'll be in there safely as Jones throws it down. Reynolds, the shortstop, cuts it off, looks back over to third base. There's nobody to get there either. So now the runners in scoring position, both of them, runners at second and third with 2 out.
Yeah, and that's a play where Avon down 3 runs, Troy, as that one's fouled back for a strike. Can't afford to give up another run, so they had to cut that throw off. Can't run the risk of that runner from third coming home to score.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 out to Yeager.
I was really into sticks when I was in high school, so I might have done something like, Come Sail Away.
It's a good one. That one's lifted to left field. It may drop for a hit. It will. And it's going to go past the center fielder, Johnson. That'll be extra bases as Yeager's in there with the double and 2 RBIs, and the Dogs lead it 7-2.
Also really into REO Speedwagon.
I liked REO.
Wheels of Turnin' is one of the best albums ever.
Night Ranger, Sister
Night Ranger,
Christian.
Sister Christian.
Yeah. So that was a very popular, not really a ballad, I guess. It wasn't then, but, We had, let's see, as the Orioles will have a conference at the mound. There is some
action. You were in
action.
class of what, 92?
90.
What year?
1990. So there is some action real quick that we'll address in the Avon bullpen, and that looks like that's might be where they're going to go, and they will, as number 8, Spencer Black, the senior, will come in out of the pen. He'll be in relief of Sanborn, I should say. I believe Sanborn might be staying in the game and moving to an infield spot as we go through the card here real quick. I believe Jake Smith comes out of the game, so it looks like Sanborn might be going to third base as Smith comes out. And now warming up and coming into the game to pitch is the senior Spencer Black, the right-handed pitcher for the Orioles. So we'll let him get warmed up. And where were we at?
We were discussing plate music.
Plate music, and then we talked about
now they're playing Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't Fear the Reaper, yeah. So Night Ranger, you had that, but we had Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Here
I go again.
Yeah, here I go. Which would have been a good
Henry
one.
Lee Summer was big back then.
Henry Lee Summer was big.
That was 88, I think, was Wish I Had a Girl.
Wish I Had a Girl. So that would have been like freshman, sophomore year.
Right. I'm trying to think. Was that Vanilla Ice? Was that big?
Little after that, but
Hammer?
yes. Hammer was big.
Were you a Hammer fan?
Can't Touch. Well, everybody was a Hammer fan.
Really?
Can't Touch This could have been walk-up music.
That would have been like everybody's walk-up.
Probably, yeah, it would have been. You're exactly
an outsider,
right.
So I know you would have chosen something different.
Yeah, I would have had to choose something different. Our class song was the Humpty Dance by Digital Underground. So I guess I could have used that. I did not.
You graduated during a very weak period in the music industry.
I would say that. You go back and
the Beastie Boys.
I know Beastie Boys. Yeah, you got to fight for our right to party.
Yeah,
was big then. As was.
They were really stretching. I mean, there was a really.
What were the guys' names? The brothers, real heavy set guys that were in the movie. They had a movie.
Not Milli Vanilli.
No.
Although they were big.
Yeah, they were.
Sinead O'Connor.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I mean, you really graduated during a dark time in the music industry.
I know you're a big Springsteen guy, and I remember Springsteen. Born in the USA was like the first. I don't know what grade I would have been in then, but I was 84. It's pretty young, so yeah, I wasn't in high school yet.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Is when that would have came out.
You were.
So that was a little too back, but that was a good one.
You really. That was a dark time for Springsteen when you graduated.
Yeah. Comer steps in with a runner at second and 2 out, and the Dogs have plated a couple of runs here in the bottom half of the 4th. They lead at 7-2. First pitch to him's a ball, 1-0.
Even the fans weren't fans of that era from Bruce Springsteen.
No, I don't think so.
But you could. A lot of these songs are older that these kids have, a couple of years older. So you could go back a few years, into the mid '80s and pull some pretty decent music from out of there.
Second pitch is in there for a ball, 2-0.
Shane has advised us who those people were, Troy.
What people is that?
The heavyset guys.
Oh, who is it?
Apparently called the Fat Boys.
That's who. Yeah. Well, how could I not remember that?
I have
you,
no
Shane.
idea who you're talking about.
Thank
by
you,
the way.
Shane, back in the studio. I don't remember the name of the movie they were in. Shane might.
Were those the guys in the Michael Jackson bad?
No, I
video?
don't. No. 3 balls and 1 strike to Comer. I don't believe so. They had a movie. Of course, it was awful. And I think they played doctors or something like that. It's terrible. It was as Comer walks, the 3-1 pitch is outside for ball 4. So you have runners at first and second now for Sampson with 2 outs.
You know, you could have been really trendy and had a Weird Al.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Fat.
Weird Al Yankovic. Down in the dirt for a ball, 1-0.
I don't see you being a Weird Al fan.
No, it was always just strange to me. I didn't. And they had that movie VHS, which I don't think
UHF.
UHF.
One of the great movies of all
I've never
time.
seen it.
You know, Kramer is the main character, and that's kind of where the Kramer character developed.
Where he kind of started. That ball's fouled down the first base line. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike for Sampson. Runners at first and second. The Dogs lead it 7-2 here in the bottom half of the 4th. 2 runs across for them already.
Stanley Spadowski was the name of the Kramer character.
In UHF.
Yeah. And Emo Phillips was in it.
Sampson grounds the ball to Reynolds at short. Comes up, quick throw over to second for the 3rd out.
Nice play by Reynolds there. Went to his knees.
Ball took kind of a funny bounce coming out of the infield, and he fields it nicely. And the Dogs get 2 runs on a knocking the ball around a little bit, and we go to the top half of the 5th inning. They lead this game 7-2.
Apparently the Fat Boys movie was called Disorderly.
Disorder. See, they were orderlies in a hospital. That was right. Thank you, Shane.
Hey, you're finally on your own, living in your own place, paying your own bills, making your own decisions. When your decisions involve insurance and financial needs, it's nice to have a little help. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay. He knows that being on your own shouldn't feel like being alone. State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. See, you and Worley, Worley's really focused on the game. I love the entire other side of sports.
You take me down other paths.
Well, that's how I work in all facets of my careers, plural.
Right, exactly.
I'm a distractor. By the way, don't forget, we do have a game tomorrow night. Brian Scott will have the call of that one at Avon High School, and then we'll be back here Friday evening as the Bulldogs play host to Lafayette Jefferson. And I think it's going to be a pretty good weather week for us, so hopefully we'll be able to get all 3 of those games in for you.
Well, the Dogs have made a statement so far. They've knocked the ball around a little bit here. We go to the top half of the 5th. They lead it 7-2. 7 runs on 9 hits for the Dogs. 2 runs on 4 hits for Avon. The Dogs have committed 3 errors, but in spite of that, they lead this game 7-2. And remaining on the mound for Brownsburg is number 15, the right-handed pitcher Dalton Carter.
I was trying to think about that Wheels of Turning album because I just had a comment on my Facebook page, somebody listening about the REO Speedwagon. Wheels of Turning had like 4 or 5.
It's a great song. It was an absolutely great album.
Got to Feel More.
Yes.
And you Rock and Roll Star.
Yeah.
Can't Fight This Feeling.
Can't Fight This Feeling. It's probably one of my all-time favorite songs of that era from that time.
It's a great ballad.
Great ballad.
And I know Kevin Cronin got labeled as kind of wimpy or, foul ball in front of home plate, by the way.
Count goes to 0-2. The hitter is number 33, Cole Johnson. He's the leadoff hitter and leading off this inning for the Orioles.
And for those of you who don't know, this is one of the reasons we have video this year so that I can go off on
it's a TV broadcast. And one of the things they always said, the great Pat Summerall said, God rest his soul.
More.
Less is more. Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It's important. It's important.
Irvin,
exactly.
Touchdown.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
It's important to know when to talk. It's more important to know when not to. So we will.
So like I was saying, I know Cronin got labeled as kind of wimpy after that, that period where he did Can't Fight This Feeling and Take It on the Run. And
I love great songs. Great song. That pitch is outside for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's no Golden Country. I mean, it's much different from,
Absolutely.
Golden Country.
And REO Speedwagon, reflective, they got their name from a British fire engine.
Yeah, I did not know that.
The REO Speedwagon. That ball is lifted into right field and charging. Oh, the ball's going to drop right in between Ish and Sampson. So Sampson was going out to right field. Ish was coming in, and both of them kind of pulled off at the same time, and the ball literally dropped right in between them while they were facing each other. So that will go down as a hit, although it wasn't
They all look the same in the book.
They all look the same in the book, I guess is all you can say. So the Orioles have got a runner at first with nobody out.
At the end of the year banquet, there's throw over to first runner back. End of the year banquet, it's still going to show up as a hit.
That's right.
When he's competing for the batting title.
The right fielder, Matt Batusak, stepping in.
You know,
really...
Speedway, of course, had a tremendous guitar player, too, in Gary Richrath.
Yes.
Excellent.
Do you think that from that error, as the count goes to 1 ball and no strike, do you think that it is appropriate that Eddie Van Halen was the greatest guitarist of that era or not?
Well, Van Halen was solid, you know, but it
strike,
all depends on what you want. You know, I am a huge Styx fan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I like James Young. I think James Young was a great guitar player. Not much of a James Young fan for what they did to Dennis DeYoung, kicking him out of the band.
Throw to first does not get the runner. The count's 1-1.
But it's all open to interpretation.
Yeah.
You know, Journey.
Great.
In that period, too.
Oh, excellent. Ball's grounded through the left side for a hit. So back-to-back hits by Johnson and Batusak put runners at first and second with nobody out, and the Orioles are in business here in the top of the fifth. Some action in the Brownsburg bullpen as the lefty, number 17, Ty McCoy, is throwing. McCoy's a junior. And Mattingly comes out to the mound, and we'll have a conference in there. Up 7-2 as we are in the fifth inning, and Carter give up a couple of back-to-back hits, although the first one, probably in all interpretation, probably should have been caught. It was not, although it does go down as a hit. So McCoy will throw in the Brownsburg pen. Dogs lead at 7-2, 7 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 3 errors. It hasn't hurt them that much. Avon 2 runs on 6 hits. Top half of the fifth inning. Runners at first and second and nobody out. Dylan Jones, the catcher, steps in. Here's a pitch by Carter. Off-speed pitch is high for a ball, 1-0.
Perfect night for baseball.
It really is. I mean, this is as some low-flying geese buzz the field, headed from across home plate out in over the left field wall. Very low geese and large geese. Pitches outside for a ball, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Jones. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Also misses, and 3 balls and no strikes. So Carter struggling a little bit here in the fifth. 7-2 Brownsburg. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. The count's 3-0 to Jones. Inside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Christian Reynolds, the shortstop, should be next, and he is.
Well, this is a real opportunity for the Bulldogs to bear down. Of course, 5-run lead, but with the wind blowing straight out towards left field, not a comfortable lead. And remember, we talked about, Troy, it's typically been this series a game of big innings throughout the history of this rivalry.
Big innings have been indicative of these contests between Avon and Brownsburg, and that's what the Orioles are looking for here. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Reynolds steps in. First pitch to him is outside for a ball, 1-0. In their first strike 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Bases loaded. Nobody out. The ball's lifted to right center and charging hard. It's going to drop in there for a base hit. 1 run is home. That's all that will score, and it's 7-3 Brownsburg. So Batusak had to watch himself going from second to third. Wasn't sure if that ball was going to drop or not, and it does. And Coach Mattingly will slow walk to the mound, and that's going to be it for Carter. So Dalton Carter, the starting pitcher for the Dogs, gives up 3 runs on 7 hits. Brownsburg does commit 3 errors.
They're going to go with the lefty, it looks like. You know, you got to give Avon some credit there, just playing that station-to-station baseball. Would have been easy to try to get that other runner home, and I'm sure Avon looking at it, we need several more hits to get back into this game.
Absolutely. So number 12, Chandler Sanborn, who started the game at pitcher, has moved to third base. will be next. So Sanborn goes to third.
17, Ty McCoy.
Ty McCoy will come in from the pen, the lefty. He's a junior. He'll be taking over the reins from Carter, who was the starting pitcher. We'll see if Carter goes somewhere else in the lineup. I don't believe he does. So Sampson has moved to third. Hartnagel is still at short. And going to second base, I'm not sure. Comer still at first. Ish is in right. Houston in center. Liam in left. That has not changed. Yeager behind the plate. That has not changed.
I'm definitely gonna have to start bringing binoculars to the future games, Troy.
So Sampson has gone to third base, and we're trying to gauge who is. Yeah, binocular. Great idea.
I've got them at home.
I actually think I have a pair in my truck. We'll figure out who's playing second base here in just a minute. So Ty McCoy, the junior, steps in, and here's his first pitch. Bases are loaded. There's nobody out, and the Orioles trail 7-3. First pitch is in there for a strike. Chandler Sanborn pitches high for a ball. So Sanborn was the starting pitcher. He's moved to third base. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Here's the 1-1. Gets away from the catcher, Yeager, but nobody will go. Nobody advances. He hustles and gets it back in. Seven runs on 9 hits for the Dogs, 3 runs on 7 hits for the Orioles. Top of 5, 1 run across here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's the 2-1. Sanborn hits one to right field, fielded nicely. Oh, and he fumbles it at second base. So Austin Jones has come in to play second base, and then the first ball hit to him commits an error. That will score a run and make it 7-4. And that will be an error. That'll be the 4th error on the night for Brownsburg.
Isn't that inevitably the way it always works, Troy? You come into the game and you're cold. The first ball hit right at you. Sharply hit ball. I'm sure it's one he should have gotten out on, but always a tough thing, especially for a high school kid.
Taylor made for the 4-6-3. That pitch is down and inside for a ball 1-0. Stepping to the plate is number 15. He's a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch by McCoy on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. So we'll sort out where Dunham is the second baseman. Matt Moore, the first baseman, will be next. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2 runs across for the Orioles. Here's the 1-1. Way inside, ball 2.
The Avon team starting to sound like a bunch of auctioneers shouting, "Yep."
Ball is lifted foul for a strike.
I was just saying, I don't know if the attempt is to distract the pitcher, or I would think that would be distracting as a hitter.
Could be. Would you say, yup? My Storage Wars. You watch the show. My son loves that show.
Well, they kicked Dave Hester off the show.
Because he was so annoying. And he was very annoying. I don't watch it religiously. Here's the 2-2. Driven down the left field line, coming over. The ball's going to drop in front of Liam for a hit. 1 run will score as, again, the Orioles had to kind of hold up and see if the ball was going to drop. It does. So an RBI single to left field for the second base, for the second baseman, Justin Dunham, as he's RBI singles to left. So just a revolving door now. A little bit of a carousel for the Orioles as they load the bases, hit one into the shallow infield, and then score one run.
Call that station-to-station baseball.
That's exactly what it is.
And as I said, not to do the broken record, but anytime I get something right, I want to repeat it. This has been a series for decades of big innings that have decided these games, and Avon now has 3 in the top half of the 5th. Nobody out.
1 ball and no strike to Moore. Outside for ball 2, 2-0, and Yeager's going to go out and have a word with McCoy.
That's got to be a very lonely feeling as a pitcher. Bases loaded and nowhere to put the guy, and man, just I can't imagine.
Stuff's just not working.
No. But a lot of baseball left in this one, so if you're the Bulldogs, I think you'd probably take getting out of here at maybe a tie ball game and just try to get some runs on the board.
2 balls and no strikes to Moore. McCoy looks on, gets the sign from Yeager, and here is the 2-0. Big swing and a miss on a breaking ball. That was a nice pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. 7-5 Bulldogs, top of the 5th, nobody out. 3 runs across here for the Orioles. The bases are juiced. And Matt Moore, the first baseman, is in there with 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1. Lifted to right field, going out and is Ish. Camping underneath it, makes the catch. The runner from third will score. The runner from second will advance to third base. So the RBI sacrifice fly scores Reynolds from third.
That was a really nice catch by Ish, not to try to imply that this sun is, at the height of summer, beating down on you, but not an easy play with the sun in your face. Ish able to make the catch and get the ball back in.
Ish kind of drifting to his left and catching it with his glove up over his shoulder. So here's the lefty. Stepping in is Tasker Strobel, the left fielder. He comes up, runners at first and third at the corners with 1 out. 7-6 Brownsburg, 4 runs across for the Orioles in this inning. Nice breaking ball in there for a strike on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Fabulous breaking ball.
Very much so. I think Strobel thought about ducking out of the box.
Yeah. I mean, that was a major league curveball right there.
It was. Nice pitch. Here's the 0-1 by McCoy. He's going to throw over to first. Runner back.
Now, here's the interesting thing. If you're the Bulldogs, do you hold that runner there, or do you let that first baseman come out and play a little bit of defense?
Well, Coach Manley is electing to have Comer hold him at the bag. He does represent the go-ahead run. You don't want him to advance into scoring position. There's one school of thought. The other one would be that you have Comer play defense so the ball does not get down the line. You do have a left-handed hitter in there. That pitch was in there for a strike. So McCoy has Strobel 0-2. He's got runners at the corners. And so now they've got the runner at first stuck in a rundown, and they're not going to throw it around too much. Good discipline by the Dogs there. So McCoy looked over, and the runner at first was drifting over to second base, trying to get a rundown started. Brownsburg makes the wise decision. They elect not to throw the ball around, so runners remain at first and third with 1 out. And the count's 0-2 to Strobel.
Well, here's the thing on that, Troy. Again, we talked about, do you want outs? As there's a ground ball off the third baseman's glove fields, throws to first in time.
Nice play over there at the corner by Sampin. So the ball dribbles off the top of Sampin's glove, goes up in the air. He barehands it with his right hand and throws it over to Comer at first base.
Nice pick by Comer over there, too.
However, the run does score, so on the fielder's choice, the runner comes home, and this game is all of a sudden tied as the 5th run of the inning comes across for Avon. Jake Smith, the third baseman. Runner at second. Outside. Oh, it's in there for a strike on the outside corner.
Well, here's what I was going to say, Troy, was they didn't get that runner in that rundown. But now the issue is you'd be out of the inning if you'd done that.
That's exactly right.
So maybe it is better to take the out. The run scored anyway, but obviously hindsight's always 20/20.
Always. No balls and 1 strike, 2 out. Here's the 0-1. Lifted in the air to right field. Camping underneath it is Ish, and he hauls it in for out number 3. But the Avon Orioles get 5 runs in the top half of the 5th inning. They tie the game at 7-7. We go to the bottom of the 5th Tie score.
Hey, Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you enjoy. Our orthopedic and sports medicine doctors are backed by award-winning physical therapists. This expert team uniquely addresses the needs of kids, seniors, athletes, and working professionals to restore their lifestyle. Get more information online at mymotion360.org.
Looking around the major leagues tonight, and the Indians will be at Kansas City. That's an 8:10 first pitch. We talked about the Padres and the Cubs earlier, as that's an 8 o'clock first pitch from Wrigley Field. The Astros and the Yankees are all in the warm-up stages, as all these games are from Yankee Stadium. The Twins are at the Tigers. The Mets are at the Marlins. The Nationals are at the Braves. The Pirates are at the Brewers. The Reds are in St. Louis to play the Cardinals. The Giants are in sunny and warm, I'm sure, Phoenix to take on the Diamondbacks. The Angels are up the coast in Oakland, take on the Athletics, and the Orioles are way out west in the Northwest to take on the Mariners. That's a 10 o'clock start there on the West Coast. So the Pacers in action tonight I believe it's a 7 o'clock tip for the Pacers against the Hawks. They'll be at Phillips Arena tonight in Atlanta for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference playoffs, their first round Eastern Conference playoffs. And very lackluster effort the other night by the Pacers. And hopefully we won't get that effort tonight as we root on the home team tonight. Stepping up to the plate, leading off the inning is number 22, Garrett Ish. He's the number 9 hitter. He crushes one up the middle, right past the pitcher into center field for a base hit. So Ish with a leadoff single, and that's just exactly what the Dogs needed after giving up 5 runs in the top half of the 5th inning that results in the game being tied at 7-7. So leadoff hitter is aboard, and here is the shortstop, the actual leadoff hitter, the number 1 hitter in the lineup, number 4, the shortstop, Hartnagel. So Ish with a lead at first. Here's the pitch to Hartnagel. In there for a strike, 0-1. Brownsburg had seemingly had this in hand, and Rob had pointed out on numerous times that this has always been about big innings between these two teams. It's fouled straight back by Hartnagel. He's down on the count, 0-2. And a big inning is exactly what Avon needed. That's exactly what they got. 5 runs in the top of the 5th. So game tied 7-7. 7 runs on 10 hits for the Dogs. 7 runs on 8 hits for the Orioles. 4 errors committed by Brownsburg tonight through 5. Ball is high, 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody out. Runner at first, throw over to first. And Ish is back without a problem. Gets his jersey dirty. Big swing and a miss by Hartnagel. He strikes out, throw down to first, and Ish gets back. Avon not afraid to throw the ball around from behind the plate. The catcher, Jones, very active back there. Hunter Liam, the left fielder, number 20, steps in. Runner at first and 1 out. Game tied 7-7. Fouls it off the fist for a strike, 0-1. Like to have that one back. Jake Smith on the mound for the Orioles in relief of Sam Byrne. Throw over to first, safe. Liam steps back in, knocking some dirt off his cleats. Here's the 0-1. Tried to pitch out. The ball goes over the head of the catcher, and Liam will advance to second. Ish. Sorry, not Liam.
I was totally blocked by the wall here, Troy. Was that a pitch out or just a bad pitch?
Well, I think it was an attempt at a pitch out, but it was not. So Liam up there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ish advances to second on the wild pitch. Fouled straight back, strike 2, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Lead at second by Ish. Here's the 1-2. Liam dives at 1. Fouls it away. Still 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Runner at second, 1 out. Game tied 7-7. Ball grounded up the middle. It's going to be a tough play at first base. Charging hard. They will not get him. So Reynolds charges hard in from short to try and get the ball to Moore at first base. He cannot. It's going to go down as an infield hit, and the Dogs have got runners at the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th, tie game.
You know, Troy, one of the things you see with a lot of high school players is when they have to rush, that's when the mistakes get made. Shortstop had to hustle in there to get the throw over to first, and there was a booted ball on his part.
And Liam showed nice hustle on the ground ball. He didn't give up on it and ran it out. So Tyler Houston, the center fielder, number 6, the right-handed hitter, steps in. Smith looking on. He's got runners at the corners behind him with 1 out. Gets a sign from Jones. Here's the pitch. Squares around a bump, pulls it back. Just missed for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Tie game at 7. Jones calls time. Gives some signs to the infield. One ball, no strikes. On the outside corner, first strike, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 7 runs on 11 hits for the Dogs, 7 runs on 8 hits for the Orioles. Smith looks on, gets the sign from Jones, steps over to third, no pitch. That rule outlawed this year in Major League Baseball. That is a balk, not at the high school level.
Apparently not outlawed at the high school level.
No fake to third.
I say we make a motion to outlaw that.
Pitch is high and inside, and Liam will swipe second base, no throw. So 2 runners in scoring position now with 1 out. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tyler Houston. Center fielder steps in there. Here's the 2-1. Hit in the air behind the dugout. Foul ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hey guys, you need to stay out of here. Huh? That's his dad. You can be up here. Huh? Freshman coach?
Inside, strike 3, and Houston goes down looking. Houston thought that was a little bit inside maybe, but painted the black.
It's a big strike zone.
For the backward K. So the Dogs will have runners at second and third with 2 out. The game tied 7-7. And here's Cody Gill, the third baseman. It's pitched by Smith. Down in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. That pitch is high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Gill. The DH, Jackson McGowan, would be next. Ball's lifted high and out of play down the right field line. Foul. Some activity in the Brownsburg bullpen. Number 10, Michael Clare, the right-hander, throwing. No action in the Avon pen. Fouled away by Gill again. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. Game tied 7-7. Bottom of the 5th. Smith looks in. Here's the 2-2. Swung and missed, and Gill's a little confused because the pitch actually hit him, but it was a swinging strike, so he's out. So the ball is actually live, and Avon's going to throw it around, and they will have to throw him out at first base. So there's going to be a lot of confusion here.
It's like a Three Stooges episode.
So the situation is that Gill is up with a 2-2 count. The pitch is inside on the fist. He swings the bat, but the pitch hits him. So the ball is loose on a third strike.
Heads up by Gill to run, to notice that he could run.
No, his coach told him.
It appears that the umpires are saying that with the swing and the pitch made contact with him, it is not a running third strike because it made contact with the player.
So he said he couldn't run?
So Avon made the play at first base, but it appeared they are actually saying that he didn't even need to do that because the home plate umpire had already called him out. He had signaled numerous times out at home plate. So an interesting play that will end the fifth inning for Brownsburg. They had a lot of opportunity that inning. And we go to the top of the sixth. The game tied 7-7. 7 runs on 8 hits for Avon. 7 runs on 11 hits. 4 errors committed by the Bulldogs. And this game is tied as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Ty McCoy will be the pitcher on the mound, remaining on the mound, the lefty for the Dogs. Yeager goes out to have a little meeting at the mound as we get into crunch time here. The leadoff hitter, number 33, Cole Johnson, will be the first hitter of the inning. He's a center fielder. Nice crowd remaining on hand, and both the dugouts getting very active and vocal. McCoy looks on. Here's the pitch. Squaring around to try and bunt for a hit is Johnson. He bunts it foul down the first base line for a strike, 0-1. Seven, top of the 6th. No balls and 1 strike on the leadoff hitter, Cole Johnson. Nobody out. Here's the 0-1. Foul down the first base line, a full swing that time. The count goes to 0-2. Yeager giving the signs out to McCoy. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Tried to get him to chase one out of the zone. He does not. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball in the outside corner. Johnson couldn't catch up to it or reach it and goes down swinging for out number 1.
Next up, number 17, right fielder Matt Batusak.
Here's Matt Batusak, the right fielder, right-handed hitter. Game tied 7-7. Nobody on and 1 out for Batusak. Here's a pitch by McCoy. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1.
Always competitive when these two teams get together.
Rarely a dull moment, a dull game, that's for sure. Inside on the feet, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on, game tied 7 apiece. Top of the 6th. Dylan Jones, the catcher, will be next. Outside, misses for ball 2, 2-1.
Looked like it was going to be a laugher for Brownsburg, and then the 5th inning came and went, and by the end of the 5th, it was a tie ball game. 7-11-4 for the Bulldogs, 7-8, and I don't know for the Orioles because the error light is out. I assume that means there are no errors. Okay.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Off-speed pitch again. McCoy's shown that he has real command of that off-speed pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on.
4 errors is just a killer, Troy.
Misses outside. The count goes to full. We had reflected earlier that then they had 3 errors that they really hadn't affected them that much. And those 5 runs that Avon came up with were the result of 1 error and really hitting the ball around. Count goes to 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on. Game tied 7 apiece. Here's a 3-2 by McCoy. Inside for ball 4. And Batusak will be at first base. He's the go-ahead run. Dylan Jones, the catcher, number 32, steps in. Right-handed hitter against the lefty McCoy. McCoy looks on. Runner at first looks him back. Ball's grounded. Should be a double play. And then takes it himself over to first. And the Dogs get 2. Hartnagel takes it himself. Hartnagel 2 more. 6-3. And after 5.5, we remain tied 7 apiece.
Really heads-up play there by Hartnagel, realizing it would take more time to flip the ball than actually just touch the bag himself. Did that technique perfect, kicking the backside of the bag, and then firing it on to first for the double play. So
nice stretch by Comer at first base, too, to bring that ball in.
See if we can get a run here and pull out a win.
We're going to the bottom half of the 6th inning. 7 runs on 11 hits. Again, we've talked about the 4 errors committed by Brownsburg. 7 runs on 8 hits. And you asked about walk-up music earlier, and I think I found what mine may have been. Danger Zone.
Top Gun?
The Top Gun soundtrack. Almost made me join the Navy.
It's very late 80s of you.
Very much so. Saw it in the theater, Top Gun.
At the theater?
At the theater. On its initial release. So.
That seems like a move you'd make.
Jake Smith remains on the mound. Number 5, the right-handed pitcher for Avon. So Jackson McGowan will lead it off for the Dogs. Should have McGowan followed by the catcher Yeager and the first baseman Comer. They are the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, and McGowan up swinging. Hits it high and deep to right field, and fading back and making a nice catch on it is Batusak in right field.
Great catch by Batusak out there as he an over the shoulder running catch into right center field.
That ball got up in that wind a little bit and made a little bit of a difficult play. So the Dogs come out swinging. McGowan on the first pitch flies out to right field. And here's the catcher, Yeager. Kyle Yeager, number 3, the right-handed hitting catcher. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. On the outside corner for strike 2, and just like that, Yeager's down 0-2.
You know, another very important news, Gary Busey bit the dust last night on Celebrity Apprentice.
I saw that. Only by virtue of social media as Yeager fouls one out of play, 0-2. Only by virtue of social media, I saw that Busey got voted off. What's the show? It's Apprentice, right?
Yeah, Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah.
Was it close to the end?
We're down to 5 now. Busey was in the final 6. He flamed out.
Yeah?
Yeah, he went out in Busey fashion.
Oh, did he really? I have to YouTube that. His Yeager fouls one down over the Brownsburg dugout. He stays in there, stays alive, 0-2. So Smith very much in control here. That ball is grounded to third, picked up by... Oh, and an error on Smith. So, no, that's Chandler Sanborn, I'm sorry. Sanborn was our starting pitcher. Basically him and...
Seems a lot of times, Troy, at this age, the kids let the ball play them versus playing the ball. That was an example of that.
It was.
A routine grounder and just misplayed.
Nice hops, too. He had a real nice hop coming at him and could have come up and make the throw to first. But instead, that's the first error of the game by the Orioles and puts runner at first base for the first baseman, Comer. So Yeager at first. Comer takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0, missed low. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. Misses outside, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes, 1 out. Runner at first. Bottom of the 6th inning. Getting into some crunch time here. This game is tied 7 apiece. Pitch is high. Count goes to 3-0. No activity in the Avon pen. No activity in the Brownsburg pen.
Well, you got a feeling at this point, Troy, whoever scores first probably going to win the game.
Yeah, it seems that way. In their first strike, 3-1. Comer's taken all the way. It runs kind of at a premium there in the first inning. The Dogs put up 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Comer lifts one high and deep to center, and fading back is Johnson. He brings it in. The runner goes halfway. He'll go back to first base. So runner will be at first with 2 outs. Sampson will be the hitter. Caleb Sampson.
Well, you know,
Started
in
the
the
game
past,
at second. He's moved to third.
I was just saying, in the past, we saw somebody with the name Salmon on the jersey. We'd be thinking maybe a home run.
Yeah, that is
Let's
absolutely
see if he can
correct.
keep the legacy going.
So Sampson in there. 2 outs, runner at first. Up there swinging and fouls it away. Strike 1.
Sampa just looks like a hitter.
He does. He's got a really nice stance. Quick throw over to first, and he's back safe.
This looks like he's going to do some damage here.
Jake Smith on the mound for Avon. In relief is Sanborn, who's moved to third. And here's the 0-1 to Sampson. Lifted into foul territory. First baseman drifting over and hauls it in. So Moore comes over and makes the grab. And they strand one after 6.5. This game is tied 7 apiece.
I want to thank our sponsors again for today's game. Hendricks Regional Health and Motion 360. Pete Fayer, State Farm Agent, and Nelson Jewelers in Brownsburg. Also want to thank Shane Ray back in the XRB Radio Studios for pressing all the buttons, doing his usual outstanding job as always. Well, thank Troy, doing a great job calling the game.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank Adam Armstrong for pressing the buttons on the scoreboard. Pretty much thanked everybody at this point.
You
and of course,
have.
our viewers/listeners at home. Thank you.
Pacers have yet to tip in Atlanta.
Well, I told you,
for a
we just
7:30 start.
don't want to score first. The key
Yeah.
is who has ever scored first in the series so far has lost the game. So give them 2.
Pacers have lost 12 in a row at Phillips Arena. That losing streak goes back 3 Pacer coaches.
Wow. So that's back to Isaiah?
No. It's and I'm the sports guy.
You are the sports
The
man.
guy is the coach of the Mavericks or the
Carlisle.
Rockets now. Rick Carlisle
Oh, no.
goes
The
back
Mavericks.
to he's a Houston now.
No, it's Kevin.
No, he is. That's right.
He was the coach
He's
before
at Dallas.
Vogel, wasn't he? Oh, no, O'Brien was
O'Brien,
the coach.
yeah.
Okay.
So it does go back to Carlisle, who is the coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. Who did
Rick-
not make the playoffs.
Rick
this year.
Carlisle, who did not make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's you just think they should beat the Hawks by like 20 points.
Well, they should. Christian Reynolds, the shortstop's leadoff hitter.
Really
McCoy
question
remains
some
on
of
the
that-
mound, lefty.
Let's question some of that effort in that last game.
Oh, it's terrible. Just really lackadaisical effort and just a real letdown, I think, after being up 2-0.
Of course, you also got wrestling on tonight.
Oh, WWE tonight?
Yeah, Monday Night Raw, 8 o'clock.
Scoring around to bunt for a hit. This is going to be a difficult play. He's going to beat it out. So nice play there. Squaring around to bunt the ball, and it was a perfect bunt down the first base line. And I was able to call it early because Comer was charging in, and nobody was going to beat Reynolds to first base. So he's aboard with an infield single on the bunt, and the leadoff hitter's on. And here's number 12, Chandler Sanborn, the starting pitcher, who is now playing third base for the Orioles.
Here's the interesting thing. Unlike a Major League diamond, these actually have grass baselines here at Brownsburg High School.
Yeah.
And that enabled that ball really to die. It squares around to bunt, bunts through, throw to first, runner back. It was interesting, though, because if that's a dirt baseline, like a traditional baseball field, that ball maybe rolls foul.
Yeah, very much so. He definitely played very well. Comer made a nice effort, and that's just an infield hit. Nobody did anything wrong there. It was a great bunt, great effort by Comer at first base. So Chandler Sanborn's in there, the right-handed hitter. He's down 0-1. Runner at first. This game's tied 7-7, top of the 7th. The Dogs looking to hold this thing tied so they can get up and try and win it in the bottom half of the 7th. Here's the 0-1 by McCoy. Squares to bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike. Throw to first. Runner back. So Sanborn now down 0-2. Comer will hold Reynolds at first. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Over to first, runner back.
This would really be a heartbreaking loss for the Bulldogs, considering you were up 5 runs in the 5th inning.
This is the kind of game that the Brownsburg just can't lose.
Right.
If you're going to be competitive in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference in baseball,
Yep.
this is a game you can't lose. That ball is dribbled foul down the first baseline.
Just from a pure momentum standpoint.
Absolutely.
Cubs on TV tonight?
Cubs are always on TV.
Well, I meant on my cable provider, which would be WGN.
Or no Comcast Chicago?
I do not have the Comcast Sports
Chicago.
Yeah. Probably should.
DirecTV? Yours?
I know I'm a Comcast man.
Oh, are you?
Oh, home of Xfinity.
Yes.
You may have seen
Swing
their
and a
commercials.
miss, and he strikes him out. Nice breaking ball by McCoy. I have seen their commercials. Here's Justin Dunham, the second baseman. Christian Reynolds, the shortstop's at first. 1 out. Game tied 7 apiece. Top of the 7th.
Just got a text from our man Worley. I think he's home watching.
Is he? Excellent.
Or listening.
Hope Chris
One of the two.
Chris is enjoying his evening.
He's going on a trip.
Pitch is outside for a ball 1-0. Did he say where? Or does he not want us to know where he goes?
I think he wanted to keep that incognito.
I understand.
I wouldn't want me to know where I'm going either.
Absolutely.
If I weren't me.
I get you. Dunham calls time and steps out. McCoy steps off the rubber. Shakes that left arm a little bit. Runner at first, 1 out. Game tied 7 apiece. Justin Dunham, the second baseman in. McCoy on the mound for the Dogs. Here's the 1-0. Squares around to bunt. Right back to McCoy. He will throw over to first. Let the runner advance to second. Over to Comer, and they get him. So the go-ahead run moves into scoring position with 2 outs. And stepping up to the plate is the hard-hitting first baseman, number 44, Matt Moore. McCoy the lefty, Moore the righty. Christian Reynolds, the shortstop, at second base. McCoy looks back. The runner, here's the pitch. Comes out swinging, fouls it off, 0-1.
Big moment in the game, Troy.
Very big moment in the game. Brownsburg definitely wants to go to the bottom half of this inning with the game still tied. McCoy looks
Outfield
on.
playing a little deep. I'm surprised at how deep they are playing.
Moore's got some punch. Center fielder's in a bit. Breaking ball just misses for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Center field's in a bit. Left and right field playing a little deep.
I mean, because you would think base hit, you got to be able to cut the ball off or get the ball to the plate. I'm not sure left field would be able to do that.
Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss by Moore. Strike 2.
Great pitch over the outside corner.
Fastball in the outside corner. The other pitch, that outside corner fastball, painting the black a little bit, is another pitch McCoy has shown he has command of.
Now, what year is McCoy? Does it say on the roster there?
Well, yeah. He is a junior.
He's a junior, so he'll be back next year.
Fouled away by Moore.
Got that one inside a little bit.
1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball was in on the fist. Nice pitch by McCoy. McCoy looks on. Here is the 1-2. Fouls it off, and he barely got a piece of that. Spits it foul over towards the Avon dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner at second base. That's the go-ahead run in scoring position in the shortstop, Christian Reynolds. McCoy steps off the mound.
Here's the thing I noticed. Our good friend Adam Armstrong actually has a name ID badge.
I saw that.
Gets
he
him
does.
into anywhere at the school
Got a
corporation.
barcode and everything.
You know, we probably need one of those.
Yeah, I would say so.
So that when we show up to places, we'll have ID
Yeah.
badges.
Grounded back to McCoy. He'll throw it over to Comer. Steps on the bag, and the Dogs get out of it. They leave. Avon leaves a runner in scoring position. They leave 1. And after 6 1/2, this game is tied 7 apiece.
Great job by McCoy. really stepping in there, throwing, getting that pitch, battled hard, and then you got to not only make the play but make a good throw.
Yeah, he stays really calm, keeps command of his pitches.
Sometimes that throw to first is much harder than a throw to home plate.
Yeah.
Remember Julian Tavares for the Cubs? Couldn't throw the ball to first base.
Julian Tavares.
There's a name from the past.
There is a name from the past. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. And it looks like Jake Smith will still remain on the mound, the right-handed hurler for the Orioles. Ish will be the leadoff hitter. He's the number 9 hitter, Garrett Ish, the right fielder. So it'll go Ish, Hartnagel, Liam. If anybody gets on, Houston and Gill. Game tied 7-7. 7 runs on 9 hits and an error committed by Avon. 7 runs on 11 hits, 4 errors by the Dogs.
What is this, 9-1-2? 9-1-2 due up for the Dogs?
Yes, 9-1-2. That is correct.
Well, as we used to say back in the day, sounds like hits to me.
It does. It does. First pitch to Ish is in the dirt for ball 1.
Baseball's unlike any other sport in terms of feeding off positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
That and golf. Golf is...
Yeah, golf is good. Yeah. Outside for ball 2. So Ish would like to get aboard by any means here, whether it's a walk, an error, a base hit on his own. Outside for ball 3, 3-0. So I would say that Ish is probably taken all the way here.
Yeah, anytime you do the square around fake bunt, I've always been a proponent of not doing that because I think it incentivizes the umpire to call a strike.
To call a strike. And the umpire does. It's over there right across the plate for strike 1. Swinging at the 3-1 is Ish. He fouls it away.
I think he swung a ball 4 there.
I think he did too. Pitch looked to be a little outside. Ish goes after it, trying to protect that corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 3-2. It's lifted high in the air behind home plate. It'll be out of play as well. Count remains full.
I'd love to see these bats now. Just get a feel of bats. See how they compare to when we played.
They feel about the same. Big swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch by Ish, and down he goes. So Jake Smith gets the strikeout he was looking for. He had Ish 3-0. Was down on the count 3-0 to Ish. And leadoff hitter Michael Hartnagel, the shortstop, steps in for Brownsburg. Fouls it straight back for strike 1, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Roped into left field. That's going to be on a one hop and reach the fence. Hartnagel rounds first. On his way to second with a stand-up double in the number 2 slot. Michael Hartnagel, the shortstop, doubles to left center field. And just like that, the Dogs are in business. Runner in scoring position, and that's the winning run. That's Hunter Liam, the left fielder, steps in. Number 20, the right-handed hitter. Well, here we go,
Rob.
Rob.
On our microphone there, and maybe the Dogs give us some feedback of taking this game home. That didn't make a lot of sense, but it sounded good in my head when I was...
Ball's lifted into center field and going to be caught as the center fielder's playing shallow. Johnson comes on and makes the catch. And with 2 outs, Tyler Houston, the center fielder, will step in for the Dogs.
He's not paying a whole lot of attention to the runner back there at second base. We'll see. Maybe take third base here if they're going to give it to you. They're not really holding him on.
Avon coaching staff coming out to have a word.
What I was going to say was obviously can't make the third out at third base, but if they're going to give it to you, then it sets up a wild pitch or an infield single, from the ball game.
Nobody was throwing in the Avon bullpen. Nobody is throwing in the Brownsburg pen. So it appears, unless they do a double switch, that Jake Smith will remain on the mound for Avon. Avon coaching staff in the infield huddled up on the mound right now. Michael Hartnagel, the shortstop's at second base. He's the winning run. There are 2 outs. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The game tied 7 apiece. And Tyler Houston, the center fielder, is stepping in. They're going to walk Houston intentionally. So he'll be at first base, and that makes sense. Houston doesn't matter, really, as Hartnagel is the winning run. It gives them
Sets up the force out.
Sets up the force at any base. And it also brings up Cody Gill, the third baseman. He takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1.
Gill with the chance to be the hero here.
Gill looking on.
Big hole on the right side.
Jake Smith with the 0-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, and they're going to throw to third, and he's going to be safe into third base.
Ooh, very close. Great base running there.
So Hartnagel swipes third on the pitch in the dirt.
That was a huge risk, Troy. But he made it. Great job.
Little surprising he took it. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and the winning run's 90 feet away for Gill. Smith looks on. Here's the 1-1. Grounded to left field. That's it. Ball game's over. Base hit to left, and the Dogs win in walk-off fashion as Cody Gill gets the game-winning RBI on the base hit to left field. Hartnagel scores after swiping third base. The final line will look like this: 7 runs on 9 hits and an error for Avon, 8 runs on 13 hits. In spite of the 4 errors committed by the Dogs, they win this game 8-7 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Great baseball game, as we should have expected between these two teams, as you talked about, Rob. Always a good contest for Avon and Brownsburg, and it was the story of a big inning that Avon had way back in the top half of the 5th inning. 5 runs to tie this game up. Brownsburg wins it in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, as you said, Troy, these two teams did battle back and forth. It's always the battle of the big innings when these teams get together. We'll do it again tomorrow night. Wanted to do, again, remind everybody, we'll have tomorrow night's game, 5:30 from Avon High School. Brian Scott will have the call of that one, so Brownsburg will look for the sweep. Want to thank our sponsors, including Nelson Jewelers, State Farm, Pete Fager, State Farm Agent, and Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health. Troy, any closing thoughts before I call it a day?
I think that'll do it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's a beautiful night for baseball, and enjoy your week, everybody.